7. It's like G6.
Black Sheep!
Black Sheep is this awesome movie where David Spade and Chris Farley got to go around selling brake pads so Gary Busey can hold everyone hostage so Chris Farley's brother can become governor. And that's why you should go out and see Tommy Boy right now. Social's back, yo!
Sorry about that. Let's talk about Black Swan. Winner of the Most Necessary Lesbian Sequence Award in 2010, this film came from Darren Aronofsky, the man that brought the world a heartwarming anthology about urban life, a portrait of a beautiful mind, and a documentary about the glamorous sport of professional wrestling. He's so full of whimsy. This streak continues with Black Swan, which is all about ballet and the adverse effects it has on the people within the practice, from their struggles dealing with the world beyond the studio to the resulting insular society that forms from the alienation. I'm stoked. Let's step away from the warm-up bar and start the real routine. Meet Nina, the studious dancer that spends all of her time and energies perfecting her craft. Seriously, even at home, everything is ballet themed. Look, her mother's in a leotard constantly. Now that's dedication. Quick warning, the mother's influence may not be exactly positive.
Not too big. Oh, that's way too much.
It's a celebration. It's just this once.
Mom, my stomach's still in knots.
Fine. Fine. Then it's garbage.
No, Mom, don't. I'm sorry.
I'm just so proud of you.
And you threw out those wire hangers, right, my little angel? Nina spends her days at the ballet company, working in obscurity for the chance to move out of the chorus line and into center stage. The warm-up scene is a spectacular example of collectivism. This group exists to support the star, to create well-trained and disciplined extras to enhance the actual story being told. However, for all their hard work and dedication, the entire production would fall apart without that key person in front. This company's star is Beth, played by Winona Ryder. No, that's her 20 years ago. This is her now. Okay, back to the other one. Beth is by no means bad at her job. In fact, Nina reveres her so much that she begins stealing anything of Beth's she can find. You know, like you do. The only transgression that Beth makes against the ballet company director is growing older. Not old as in gray-haired, just older, like late 30s. As those with some gray hair can attest, late 30s isn't actually old. Beth was just caught in the rotation of out with the old and in with the new, despite the perfection she's attained. Her only crime was time. Maybe shoplifting. Nina is then offered a starring role, though only after she convinces the director of the company that she's worthy of the spot. The bite on his lips at the end thankfully plays right into his fetishes, so she's in. Gold stars. He's a rather complex character, worth an in-depth study as well as several restraining orders, so let's check in with the expert on both of these fields. DM? Excellent, the software hack works. Psycho? Who else? How can I help you? Where's the DM? Oh, I believe he went out for Funyuns. Yes, Funyuns and Mountain Dew. So, what's the target today? Well, Black Swan, but... I love Aronofsky. Let's do this. Black Swan, a perfect example of psychology in film, shows how the required compartmentalization of the protagonist into two separate entities helps to completely break an already fractured psyche. You mean sociology, because this is the other sociology. Do you see this? Why would you pick this movie then? Well, good question there. Never really thought of that. Because it fits. The environment that Nina lives in pushes everyone to be the best, but at what cost? The structure creates the behaviors that cause her eventual breakdown. You're going to ignore her own perspective in a film shot from her perspective? I'm not ignoring it, I'm explaining it. It's a byproduct of her situation. That's like saying a dictator comes to power simply because a society wills it to happen. Well, the socioeconomic conditions of a country are great indicators for potential despotism. Fine, just go. Give a thorough analysis of this movie without any mention of psychology. I'm rooting for you. Thank you. And if you need any help during the course of the review, I'll be more than happy to assist. Well, I've got this, but thanks. Of course. I'll be seeing you in a bit. So, back to this guy. He's looking for the perfect performer to play both the White and Black Swan in their company's upcoming performance of Swan Lake. Even if you're unfamiliar with the specifics, you know this song. I could stare at this all day. Nina's technique is spot on for the White Swan, a character that holds itself with grace, elegance, and perfection. But that's not what she needs to work on. The director starts to push her, telling her to embrace a lack of control while remaining fluid and beautiful for the Black Swan. She has no idea how to even try this. Enter Mila Kunis. She plays Lily, the newest radical member of the company, who ignores all the social structure and generally rubs everyone the wrong way. Well, everyone except the man casting the Black Swan because, well, she makes persuasive arguments. Her demeanor also attracts Nina, who recognizes the way that Lily presents herself is exactly what the director's looking for in the sly, seductive Black Swan. So against her better judgment and her mother's overprotectiveness, she sneaks away for a night on the town, something Nina has apparently never done before. The dialogue doesn't state this fact outright, but her behavior around anyone is kind of a dead giveaway. Despite how badly her social motivators push for her to do this, she can't bring herself to do more than mutter and look away sheepishly. Makes you wonder why she let the external pressure change her routine like this. Just thinking outside the box here, perhaps it could be better explained as an act of rebellion. A social rebellion? Oh, maybe. Again, you go straight to the big picture. No, it's much simpler than a societal conspiracy. Nina's night on the town and the consequential vivid hallucination is her personal rebellion against the extreme control her mother exerts over her entire life. It's the over-sheltered effect. Her mother spends so much time trying to control every aspect of Nina's existence that when the constraints are finally lifted, she lets go of all inhibitions, even the ones she might want to hang on to. Her responsibilities fall to the wayside because she feels like she's making real choices for the first time in her adult life. Well, I suppose, but she wouldn't be there without the situation of total control her mother created. Right, and my discipline never deals with mother issues. So this is psychology through and through. You need to let go of that stranglehold you have on your field and let other perspectives in. But that's not what I do! Exactly, and you need to learn to let go. This rigid control is stifling your performance. You just want your own show, don't you? How to put this delicately? So, sociology is a study of group behavior, correct? Yeah, absolutely. This movie does not do that. It's a case study of one woman losing her mind. One mind. But she's doing it because... Okay, there, see? You said she as in singular, not they as in plural. This is psychology because it's her, not them. Thank you for your input. Go away now. You are so in denial. Just come back when you're ready to talk. Alright, back on track. Due to the stress of the lead role, Nina's hallucinations begin to manifest more and more, haunting almost every aspect of her day. Oh, did I mention she's been seeing things that aren't there throughout the film? Things like feathers growing out of her skin, wounds that won't go away, and her own face superimposed on strangers in the darkness. It's a sign of her growing mental instability. 'Cause yeah, that's totally sociology. Okay, subtract the visions. She goes to visit Beth, who became hospitalized after a quick walk into traffic, and Nina comes away with a bloody nail file, having vividly seen Beth attack herself with it moments prior. And now it's in her hands. Jesus. There's no way to spin that other than a psychotic break. Unless... No, absolutely nothing else. Her own obsession with perfection did that, and when she wasn't perfect for the first time in her life, she couldn't cope. I'm unqualified to dissect that any further. Psycho? I sincerely hope you're not here to try and convince me this breakdown has nothing to do with her mind. You were right. I can't ignore the psychology. At last you've come to your senses. Now I've got quite a few of my notes to collect on this topic, so why don't you go make some tea? Sure. I'll go make some tea. She's an emotional wreck and smothered as hell by her mother, but the ballet company created that obsessive nature, that pursuit of perfection, the thing that basically shaped her mother's life. And then her mother shaped her life. This isn't either or, it's both. Mixed methods, integrated perspectives. The black and white swan made one. It's perfect. Psycho. Hold on a moment. I think I finally got all my notes together here. No need. We're not talking pure psychology. So we just went over this. Hey, stop me there. Black Swan is the perfect example of social psychology. Fair enough. The ballet company structure is a cutthroat pyramid of roles, where the highest positions are very coveted and very few. This aggressively feeds the negative behaviors present in all workplaces, and those individuals that take this obsession too seriously lose themselves to the pursuit of perfection at any cost. Well-adjusted minds can shrug off shortcomings with passive-aggressive acts, while minds like Nina's lead to suicidal tendencies. And that leads us straight into the glorious end sequence. You see, her back and forth with the two leads parallels her own reaching for both. Her form is astounding. She must have gone through so much training for this. Yeah, so you're really into this ballet thing, aren't you? Shh, watch. Absolutely gorgeous. It's entertaining, but it's just ballet. Excuse me. Computer? Cut off the live feed and life support to Psycho, please. I won't have anyone downplaying the most beautiful thing a human body can do. Not on my watch. As the show was coming to an end, the perfect end to her perfect night, it must go on regardless of any circumstance. Her story ends with the show, because it was, for lack of a better word, perfect. This movie sends chills down my spine, and not just because I happen to be a fan of everyone and everything it involves. It's a factor, but it's not the whole reason. Aronofsky takes what could have been a dark, uncomfortable story and explodes its extremes, making the lows touch the core of the Earth and the highs beyond the limit of the galaxy. Also, it shows how oppressive environments on already unstable minds creates a perfect storm of the best and worst a person is capable of. My recommendation, surprisingly enough, watch it and be amazed. The only downside is, if you have the bug like I do, it'll make you want to dance again. And, if you forget to warm up, you'll be limping for a month. I'm the other Socio, and I need an ice pack. Okay, that was too fast. Oh, ow.
How come everybody else in the show gets tied to a chair while I got to stand?
Please stop looking at the camera.
Oh, sorry.